calls me Vicky.
This is so cute.
I usually say, hi everyone, it's Victoria, but I'm Vicky right now.
That's right.
Because my mom's here. This is Nancy Nasser. I present her to the world. I want to share her with the world.
That's sweet.
She's 65 years young, and she looks so much younger than her age. I get, how is she, sister, all the time. She loves it.
And you're tired of it.
And either I look like her mother or she's just my sister.
Okay, very fun.
Okay, so let's get started on this interview. I feel like Oprah-ish. Okay.
You could have been an Oprah.
I could have been an Oprah.
Absolutely.
You heard it here first. She must have done something wrong because it didn't work out that way. Okay, something went wrong along the way.
Nothing went wrong.
Okay, I'm kidding. All right, so basically I want to ask you about how, first of all, we're in Hawaii. She's visiting me in Hawaii.
That's why
and she lives in Israel right now. She was a widow at 41 years old. 40? 41. 40. With 5 children. And I come from 5 children. And we're all a year apart. What did you have? 5 kids by the age of 28, which is mind-boggling in today's society. And what was diet growing up for you?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. She grew up in Daytona Beach, Florida, and what was your diet like? You just never thought about it?
I never thought about food ever. Ate anything I wanted. I was very active. We always played outside until the sun went down. Went home, had dinner, did our homework, and just never thought of it. But we were very, very, very active growing up in Florida.
Okay, very active growing up in Florida. I think the sun had a lot to do with it.
And lived on Lebanese food, which is heavy food.
Yeah, we're Lebanese Jewish, so she had a lot of heavy foods. But she burned it off, I guess, all day. She was active because she was outside in the sun. And I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, where the winters were freezing, and it was a lot of indoor stuff. So I think eating was a little bit more comfort for my type of lifestyle. And, you know, cold day after school, and you want to come home to hot soup and just sit down and just veg out in front of the television, right? It was different. Summertimes for me, though, I was outside all day, and I think that's when I was naturally feeling much better. Anyway, so let's get on to, fast forward to, what did you think of my lifestyle as far as going vegan, vegetarian, all that stuff when I was the biggest meat eater that there was?
I thought you were absolutely insane, crazy, cracked.
How many vegetarians did you know by the time I met Michael?
Oh my, hardly any. My sister-in-law Debbie, who we thought was a freak 30 years ago.
Yeah, that was my first sighting of a vegetarian was my uncle's wife. When they first met, he said she was a vegetarian, and I said,
"What is that?
Why? Why would you do that? I don't understand." Yeah. And I had no idea what it meant. And now it's mainstream, actually. Exactly. So now it's in every restaurant, even on the airplanes. This is great stuff. Yeah. So what's going on as far as how do you feel? You've read more about it. You've watched more videos, and now it's more global.
I learned a lot from you.
You learned a lot from me.
And Michael.
And what do you feel as far as, you've always been active, you've always walked around.
I'll tell you what happened. I had very high cholesterol, and they wanted to put me on medication. So I said I didn't want to take the medication. Give me a chance, I'll go on a diet. January 1st, I said no more meat, no more chicken. I had fish, very little though. And I started with these delicious smoothies of apple and kale and oranges and dates. And I was loving them, loving them. First of all, I never had anything but fruit until 12 o'clock. That's from the book
Fit for Life by Harvey and Marilyn Diamond.
Which was my Bible. I loved it.
I gave her that book.
And that's right. So I owe that to her. I did that for years. But I was still eating the meat and everything, which wasn't helping. But when January 1st, when I made that resolution that I wasn't going to touch meat because my cholesterol was high, then I just took another blood test a few months later, and it dropped drastically. So, of course, it's all attributed to your diet.
What you put in is what you get out. I really believe that. I mean, there's so many times that I've seen so many different stories and testimonies, and myself included, with
it's a
dairy.
wonderful wonderful way. Yes, I cut dairy out also, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and coffee, your morning coffee.
Yeah, I could take it or leave it once in a while.
Right, you could leave it because you're not really into it anymore.
No, I'm not addicted, that's for sure.
And the truth is, if you replace coffee with water, that's the new coffee. Really, water is the new coffee.
Water with lemon.
Water with lemon, whatever you want to put in it. I just take water straight up, a whole liter.
But I don't think a cup of coffee here and there is going to hurt you. Doesn't bother me.
She doesn't get bothered by coffee.
I don't have an addictive personality, so I don't get addicted to anything. I could take or leave anything.
Yeah. She has also a very good disposition, very, very diplomatic, very even-keeled, nothing like me. More fiery.
You're like your daddy.
I'm like my daddy, may he rest in peace. I'm very, very feisty. And with that comes passion, but in a good way, because I'm also fighting the fight, and I'm also constantly telling people about this diet, because I know there's a better way. And a lot of people just would rather take a back seat, not get involved, not say anything. She's one of those people.
But look how you've changed your whole life around.
I have.
You
became
swim
a runner.
every day, you run every day, you bike every day. It's incredible. You found your passion, and when you find your passion, there's nothing like it in the world. It's
There's really nothing like it, and I really...
It's wonderful. And your children are actually growing up the way I grew up.
Outside.
Outdoors, swimming every day, active every day. When they lived in New York, it was the opposite. They were constantly home in front of the television, eating junk.
Not too much junk, but they just weren't...
Not doing anything.
They weren't outside, and they weren't really interested in fruit as much as they are in a tropical climate, which I really believe we all belong, and we all were coming from tropical climates, because we can't really survive. We can survive, but we can't thrive in an indoor, cold climate. We just can't. I've noticed that over the years. I've gotten more and more...
But you have to take into consideration that people...
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm not gonna say that you can't live in a cold climate, and of course people have to live in cold climates, I get it. But I'm saying that if you have access to tropical environments, go to them as much as you can. Come visit me.
I'm sure everybody would want to do that if they could.
Not everybody. And a lot of people think that cold weather is actually good for them. And it is to a certain extent. It'll get you to, do more things. But it doesn't get you to thrive the way I feel like a tropical environment does. And on to the next question. So you have gotten a lot more, clarity from this diet, from this lifestyle?
I feel so much lighter, much more fit, much healthier.
Do you wish you found this years ago?
Of course, absolutely.
In her 20s, when she was raising me, she was a tennis player, a really good tennis player.
Not really, but okay.
Really good tennis player, and she has all these trophies to prove it. But she's modest anyway. So, what was your diet like then? Still heavy Lebanese food.
Yeah, Lebanese food, a lot of steaks and hamburgers and lamb chops, and that was like 3-4 times a week. And of course, the Friday night dinners, the Shabbat dinner is huge, filled with, loaded with oils and salts and calories. And
heated oils. So yeah, all this stuff.
So I've changed all that around.
Yeah, and I used to get sick all the time. And how pale was I when I was a child?
Right, and look at you now.
I was so pale. I was whiter than this shirt.
She could never get suntan.
I could never get suntan.
Sunburnt, and now she's...
you always kept fruit and vegetables in the house.
But you're so golden now. It's beautiful.
Thanks. Mom used to always keep
I had baskets of fruits and vegetables all the time, yes.
Yeah. And I was attracted to it. Right, we also had the junk food.
With the junk food, the
we did.
noodles and the,
And the Twinkies and all that.
Stuff, yeah.
What compelled you?
Yeah.
And the Larry salt.
Who knew?
The Larry salt on top of the meat. It was a complete straight up MSG. First ingredient, MSG. She didn't know. She didn't know.
Clueless.
Well, you want to see our height difference? Because this is hilarious. Get up, Mom.
Well, that's only because
no,
you
this
pick
is
after
pretty
your
funny.
father. And
yeah. She doesn't even fit in the video. She's 5'8".
Mutton
She's
Jeff.
so cute. She's 5'8". I'm like 5 even. But yeah, what else could we talk about?
Just feeling good. Go after your passion. Do what you want to do.
This is 65, guys.
Take
This is
the time
65.
out and live, because you only have one life, really, and one body.
Yeah. And if you could tell more people, I know you're not going to in stores. Maybe you will. You're kind of subtle with it.
Well, I met someone yesterday.
Yeah. She spotted a fruitarian yesterday, and it turns out that his roommate and I already met. But Yeah, in Whole
Very
Foods,
cute.
she saw somebody with like 30
60
bananas.
I don't know, 60 bananas.
60 bananas.
I said, what are you going to do with all those bananas? He says, I'm going to spot them and freeze them for my smoothies. I said, sounds good, delicious.
So I walked right over and I knew he was a fruitarian. He read the 80-10-10 book and his roommate was 80-10-10. Lively Raw, you can follow her on Instagram. Anyway, so we just want to talk about how I had a good childhood, so just in case you're wondering. I really did. I had a good childhood.
Oh, that's so nice.
I did. In case anybody's wondering, with my passion and my all that stuff, that feistiness, I still had a good childhood, regardless of what people might think. It's just passion. That's all it is.
Which is great.
And, subtly you could tell somebody, if you're not going to make a video about it, just tell somebody in a store, if they're about to buy cold medicine, tell them, you know what, I used to get those colds also. And then tell them about dairy.
Change your diet.
Change your diet, change your life.
Right.
And then change the world, as Tim Van Orden says.
Mm-hmm.
Change your life, change your diet, change the world. All right, guys, this is Nancy and Vicky signing off, saying eat your fruits and vegetables, eat more fruit, and as much fruit as you can have, and then if you're still hungry, eat a potato. And then if you're still hungry, you get my point, right? You just keep eating the good stuff first. If you're still hungry, then you can have whatever it is you're having. This way of eating is just going to change the way you think about food. Your taste buds will also change. How do you feel about salt now?
Oh my gosh.
When she has salt now, she just feels like
I feel like
it's
I'm
too
having
much.
a tablespoon of salt.
Yeah, so like it goes a long way. The more you eat this way, the more you'll want to eat this way, and you start craving. I think
the most important thing is the dairy.
The dairy is most important.
I
agree with that.
Yeah, I feel better going off the dairy than I do eating the meat.
Yeah, because of the mucus buildup. And there was a memory that I recall of going completely vegan when I said I was at her dinner and she had a roast beef on the table and she had all these greens and beautiful like guacamole and colors and all that. And the roast beef was here, and I used to love roast beef. And I was standing by the table just like looking at it, and my eyes just shifted to the greens. Mm. Now I had a taste of the roast beef, and I had it in my mouth, and it just didn't feel right. I just wanted more greens because I was having more greens, so I was craving more greens.
I even crave my smoothies now.
You crave your smoothies.
Oh,
she has a smoothie every morning.
Every morning, my apple and kale and a couple of dates. With the ice and water, and throw in all my little vitamins.
Yeah, you've arrived when you've had cravings for fruit and vegetables.
I crave it when I wake up. I crave it even when I go to sleep. Like I can't wait to get up to have one.
See that? I used to feel that way when I was having coffee. Amazing. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to have coffee.
It was never even a thought in my mind to have a smoothie. Not even a thought. And now I think about it all the time. Like, what is the next type of a smoothie that I'm going to make?
Amazing.
Love. But as a kid, I used to love milkshakes. So
see that? So she has like a sweet tooth. I think we all have a sweet tooth, like Dr. Graham says. We all have a sweet tooth. So kill your appetite, because appetite is just another word for addiction. You just want to kill your appetite. You want to eat all the sugars you can. We're meant to eat sugars. We have taste buds for sugar. Since we're born, we have taste buds for sugar because we want breast milk, which is made of sugar. It's just a sweet taste. So we all have the taste buds for sugar, but we're all so afraid of sugar. We're all so afraid of having the sweet stuff. Really, that's what you're meant to have. Glucose is what we thrive on. It's what we survive on. Our cells are being fed glucose, and then everything else is just secondary. Everything else is just, it's the cleanest fuel you could have. So eat more fruits and vegetables.
Right. And if I could do it at 65, you could do it at any age.
Yeah, and she's very with it, my mom.
Ah.
Very with it. Thank you. Okay, guys, signing off. I'm going to have to go around this camera because it's very unprofessional, and I'm going to shut it. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.